and welcome to In Depth. I'm Tina Jha. At a time when several countries across the world are trying to get back to the moon, China is planning to put a moon of its own in the sky. According to a report by China Daily, Chengdu city in southwestern Sichuan province of China is developing illumination satellites which will shine along with the real moon but will be 8 times brighter than the real one. These satellites will reflect the sun's light at night and supplement street lighting in Chengdu, a city with the population of 1.6 million. Placed only 500 kilometers above the Earth, the light reflected from the man-made moon will be more luminous than the actual moon. The project by a private space contractor is set to be completed in 2020. If the experiment proves successful, 2 more such moons could be sent up by 2022. In today's edition of In Depth, we try and understand how a fake moon will work, how viable is the idea, and its impact on the environment. In an announcement on the 10th of October, a private company in China announced the creation of a fake moon to light up the streets of one of its cities called Chengdu. The artificial moon, if successfully launched, would be 8 times brighter than the actual moon and could light up a distance of up to 80 kilometers in every direction, effectively replacing all of the city's street lights. The main reason behind the idea is to bring down electricity costs. A look at the details of this ambitious plan. In a bid to cut electricity costs in urban areas, China is planning to launch an artificial moon by 2020. The artificial moon or illumination satellite is expected to replace street lamps at night. A private Chinese space company plans to build an artificial moon for Chengdu, the capital of southwestern Sichuan province. The announcement was made at the Tianfu New Area Science Society at an innovation and entrepreneurship conference in Chengdu on October 10th. According to Wu Chunfeng, head of the Chengdu Aerospace Science and Technology Microelectronic System Research Institute company, the artificial moon would be 8 times brighter than the actual moon and will be able to light an area with a diameter of 10 to 80 kilometers, bathing it in a dusk-like glow. The satellite will orbit about 500 kilometers above the city and use its mirror-like coating to reflect sunlight back to Earth. According to Wu, both the location and brightness of the human-made moon can be changed, and it can even be completely shut off if necessary. The satellite can also assist in disaster relief by beaming light on areas that have lost power. The first of these man-made moons will launch from Sichuan's Xichang Satellite Launch Center by 2020, with 3 more to follow in 2022 if the first test goes well. The lunar project aims to cut down the cost of streetlights in China's bustling cities. By lighting up just 50 square kilometers of Chengdu's night sky, the fake moon could save Chengdu, which has a population of 14.5 million, an estimated $174 million each year. If successful, the 3 follow-up moons will be able to light up 3,600 to 6,400 square kilometers for up to 24 hours. While the satellite boasts of the advantage of human control, many experts believe the lights reflected from space could have adverse environmental effects, including severe light pollution. It is also likely to affect the daily routine of nocturnal animals and also interfere with astronomical observation. The launch and maintenance of the satellites will be an expensive task. It will also be a huge challenge to assemble it in orbit. Experts believe that it is highly unlikely for the fake moon to last for a longer period. It is also unclear whether the idea has the official nod of the Chinese government. Wu says the idea of the artificial moon came from a French artist who imagined hanging a necklace made of mirrors above the Earth, which could reflect sunshine through the streets of Paris all year round. But China is not the first country to try beaming sunlight back to Earth. In the 1920s, a German physicist named Hermann Oberth proposed the idea of using a space-based mirror to reflect light to Earth, but the plan failed. In 1993, Russian scientists reportedly used giant mirrors to reflect light from space in an experimental project called Namya. Namya briefly beamed a spot of light about 5 kilometers in diameter to Earth that was 2 to 3 times as bright as the moon, but the mirror burned up as it re-entered Earth's atmosphere a few days later. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Aerospace officials say putting a fake moon in space could actually end up being cheaper than paying for the street lights. And scientifically too, it is a viable option. But there are bound to be several challenges in making an artificial moon a reality. Let's analyze the challenges as well as the impact of a fake moon on the environment.
The artificial moon that the city of Chengdu in southwest China plans to launch into the sky will be a satellite capable of generating a light that's 8 times brighter than the real moon and replacing the need for street lights in the city. The satellite would orbit 500 kilometers above Earth, roughly the same height as the International Space Station. The real moon orbits on an average about 380,000 kilometers above Earth. Chinese media reports say testing had begun on the satellite years ago, and the technology has now evolved enough to allow for the launch of an artificial moon in 2020. If the experiment proves successful, 2 more such moons could be sent up by 2022. While the first fake moon will be mostly experimental, the others, expected to be launched in 2022, will have great civic and commercial potential. Experts say scientifically the idea is viable, but in order to serve its purpose, the fake moon would have to be permanently in orbit over Chengdu. This means it would have to be in geostationary orbit, about 37,000 kilometers from the Earth. However, at an altitude as low as 500 kilometers and considering a diameter small enough to be economically viable, accuracy will be the key. Missing the angle of reflection by even a few degrees would miss Chengdu by miles. Further, there must be ample glow to replace street lights. But if this glow covers a large area, it could potentially affect the daily cycle of animals and plants and even affect the human body clock. Concerns have already been raised in China about the impact an artificial moon would have on the environment. While some say the dusk-like glow of the fake moon will confuse nocturnal animals, others argue that many cities in China already suffer from light pollution. Research shows light pollution affects human health and the patterns of wildlife badly. It affects human sleep, making them prone to diseases like obesity, depression, and even cancer. Light pollution confuses birds when they navigate from one place to another and also affects the active life of animals like bats. Plants' life stages also get disrupted. On the whole, these changes alter the entire ecosystem. Besides, the artificial moon would also create problems for Chengdu's residents who will be unable to screen out the unwanted light. Conversely, if the light is too faint, then it wouldn't serve the purpose it is intended to. The idea of a space mirror to create daylight at night has been tried earlier as well. In 2013, 3 large computer-controlled mirrors were installed above the Norwegian town of Ridgegarn to track the movement of the sun and reflect its rays down on the town square. Decades ago, in 1993, a team of Russian astronomers and engineers succeeded in launching a satellite into space to deflect sunlight back to Earth, briefly illuminating the nighttime hemisphere. A more ambitious attempt was made again by the Russians in 1999, prompting preemptive concerns about light pollution, disrupting nocturnal animals and astronomical observation. But it misfired on launch and its creators failed to raise funding for another attempt. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Time for a short break on the program. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching In Depth. From building its own space station to capturing an asteroid and putting it in orbit around the moon, China has several ambitious plans for space. China is focused on becoming one of the biggest countries in space exploration by the year 2030. Let's take a look at China's future space programs and also the few failures from its past.
It is no secret that China's growth in the past few decades has been reflected in the space sector as well. Some of the country's achievements include the development of the Long March rocket family, the deployment of their first space station, and the Chinese lunar exploration program. China is quickly becoming one of the most ambitious and pioneering nations when it comes to exploring space, and by 2030, it wants to be one of the major space powers of the world. Currently, China is poised to do something which neither Russia nor the US or any other country has ever done. China is planning to land a rover on the dark side of the moon. The plan is to study the geology of the moon's far side. As the moon orbits the Earth, it is tidally locked, meaning the same side always faces us. The far side of the moon is not always dark, it is illuminated when the side facing the Earth is in darkness. It is just called the dark side of the moon because we never see it. No one ever saw the far side until 1950, when the Soviet Luna 3 spacecraft flew around for a look and sent back photos. Even now, the logistics of reaching the far side are so daunting that no astronaut or probe has ever gone there. Landing there would be a significant first. In December this year, the China National Space Agency will launch a 2,500-pound lander called Chang'e 4 to the South Pole Aitken Basin, which is the southern end of the lunar far side. Chang'e is the goddess of the moon in Chinese mythology. Hence, all of China's moon landers are named after her. Earlier this year, China revealed its plan to capture an asteroid. The idea of taking an asteroid and putting it in orbit around the moon was, however, mocked by space scientists and other nations. China proposes to study a chaotic asteroid following in the footsteps of NASA's Rosetta spacecraft. The plan is to launch the spacecraft in November 2021, while the maneuver will occur in August 2025. Asteroids are important for a few reasons, as they are thought to have formed billions of years ago from rocks that also became the precursor to the rocky planets. Asteroids may contain hints of how life came about, but they also carry the potential to destroy it. China has said that this mission will be a stepping stone towards landing people on the moon and eventually sending an unmanned mission to Mars. Just like the US or Russia, China too believes that the future of humanity lies on Mars. China's interest in Mars began in 2009 in partnership with Russia. When a Russian spacecraft carrying a Chinese orbiter crashed in 2011, China began its own mission. Now, the nation is planning to send an orbiter, lander and rover to the Red Planet by 2020. A 3D demonstration video from the Chinese Academy of Space Technology explained the Mars probe would fly for around 10 months before closing in on the planet. China also plans to build its very own space station. The first part of the Chinese large modular space station is expected to go into orbit around Earth in 2019, with the final sections in place by 2022. The station will host 3 crew members, unlike previous efforts which could not support any crew. The first Chinese space station, Tiangong-1 or Heavenly Place, launched in 2011, was only supposed to stay in orbit for 2 years. 7 years later, the satellite went out of control and crashed into the southern Pacific Ocean. The future of China's space exploration is diverse and exciting. With many ambitious plans and a few failures under its belt, it remains to be seen whether China will meet its future ambitious goals or not. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Since time immemorial, the moon has been a fascinating part of various cultures and religions and an inseparable part of folklore across the world. Almost 50 years after Neil Armstrong first landed on the moon, our quest to explore the moon continues. And India is one of the few countries to have launched a successful moon mission. In light of China's latest ambitious plans, let's take a look at India's lunar program.
With the successful launch of Chandrayaan on 22nd October 2008, India gained entry into the elite club of nations that had successfully completed this feat. The main objectives of the mission were to detect the presence of water on the moon, provide high-resolution chemical and mineral imaging of the entire surface of the moon, and prepare a 3D atlas of both the near and far sides of the moon. After the completion of all the major mission objectives, Chandrayaan-1's orbit was raised to 200 kilometers in May 2009. Chandrayaan operated for 312 days as opposed to the intended 2 years, but the mission achieved 95% of its planned objectives.
It's a very big achievement for India, both for ISRO and also as a nation, I suppose so, because this was the first deep space mission. Of course, India had launched quite a lot of satellites. It has built upon its capacity to launch, launch vehicles like rockets. We have built various kinds of satellites and also launched from other satellite vehicles. We have also used space platform for other than, Earth purposes, like say, for example, scientific purposes. AstroSat, for example, is a space telescope, a very, very important one. But Chandrayaan-1 is a landmark because it's one of the first deep space mission of ISRO and a successful one. Chandrayaan-1, if you recall, went in 2008, that's about 10 years ago. That's a time when there was a revival of interest in studying moon. Not just India, China, Japan, and of course the Americans and Europeans were also sending missions to moon. Our technology was now advanced, so we could do research which we could not have done, let's say, about 20-30 years ago. Even if we could have reached moon, we could have not done this kind of research. That is number one. Number two, there is a renewed interest in moon because of a substance which is available on moon in abundance. It's called helium-3. It's one of the isotopes of helium, which a lot of people consider as perhaps a solution for a fuel crisis.
ISRO is now geared up for its latest mission to the moon called Chandrayaan-2 in January 2019. Under this lunar mission, ISRO will for the first time attempt to land a rover on the moon's south pole. The complex mission will comprise of an orbiter, lander and rover. Chandrayaan-2's tests are under progress and the spacecraft will be launched by GSLV Mark II. The mission will encourage new experiments by the use and testing of new technologies.
Chandrayaan was only an orbital mission. That is, it was just to send a spacecraft in orbit around the moon. But Chandrayaan-2 is a totally different mission. You can say 3-in-1. That is, the main spacecraft will go into orbit around the moon. Then from there, it will land. It will drop a lander, which will land on the lunar surface, and after it lands, then a rover will roll out, and that rover will move around moon to do studies and photography and other things. So it is a very difficult mission for India, because India has never tried landing anything softly, because moon has no air, so you cannot use a parachute. So the landing has to be done by retro rockets. That is, you fire the rocket in opposite direction to slow down the spacecraft and land it softly. It's a very tricky job, but we hope that ISRO will be able to do it.
Man's dream of not just landing on the moon but to stay on it can also come true soon. Apart from landing lunar probes onto the moon's surface, India is also planning to build habitation on the satellite. If all goes as planned, people will soon be able to plan vacations to the moon. Traces of water have already been found on the surface of the moon. Work has now begun on building igloos on the moon by sending robots and 3D printers and using lunar soil and other material. Scientists have drawn up 5 designs for the lunar habitats. Although there is no mission plan yet, ISRO wants to have technology ready to build these structures.
ये जो बात आई है उसमें ये है कि आने वाले कुछ दशकों में जब हम लोग चांद के ऊपर जाके अगर रहना चाहें तो हमारे लिए वहाँ रहने का क्या साधन होंगे, क्योंकि वहाँ ना तो वहाँ वातावरण है जहाँ हम लोग खुली हवा में सांस ले पाएँ। तो एक तरह से वो एक बंद एक एनवायरनमेंट जैसे होती है, कंसील्ड एनवायरनमेंट, उसी में सब लोग रहेंगे। तो उसके लिए चांद के ऊपर ही जो वहाँ जो मटेरियल है, मिट्टी है जो चांद की, और बाकी वहाँ जो चीज़ें हैं उसी का इस्तेमाल करके इग्लू जैसे घर वहाँ बनाने की अभी इनकी टेस्टिंग चल रही है, जिसको ये अपनी लैब में इसरो में।
Igloos on the moon will be similar to India's outpost in Antarctica. ISRO Satellite Center Director M. Annadurai says the space agency has mastered the process of creating lunar simulant, the material that approximates the properties of lunar soil, and it has about 60 tons of it. Its properties match 99.6% with the samples brought from the moon by Apollo missions. Many countries, including the United States, are considering building more permanent structures on the moon and working there. In the long run, the space station is likely to be scrapped and replaced by these structures. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And that's it from us in today's edition of In Depth. We'll be back same time tomorrow with a focus on some other subject. You can also watch our episodes online on YouTube and Twitter and get back to us with your feedback and suggestions. Thanks for your time.